Alrighty, we are getting all set up here. Madeleine and I are super excited to have you joining us. So yeah, we're going to be talking about the full moon in Pisces on September 10th. Hang on one second. I've got an echo coming from the other side. Hold on one second. Excited to have you joining. Okay, there we go. Sorry about that. The live stream was connecting in. Okay, so yes, full moon in Pisces on September 10th at 5:58 a.m. Eastern. And so Madeleine and I are super excited. My name is Amalia. We're super excited that you're here joining us to talk about this moon. Madeleine,
hi everybody.
As always.
Yeah, hi everyone. Glad you're here. We're excited to talk about this shifting energies constantly, so everyone's in awareness of it.
Yes.
Helps.
So I wanted to start today about talking about the moon cycle that we're currently in. So Madeleine and I come to you every Sunday before each of the moon cycles. And because the upcoming full moon is on a Saturday, this is the Sunday before. So we've got a little bit of time left in the Virgo new moon cycle. And just wanted to remind everyone what that energy is about, what we're experiencing. And, if you want to get a more in-depth understanding, you can always go back and watch our Virgo new moon live that is available on YouTube. So Virgo new moon that occurred almost 2 weeks ago now, or 10 days ago now. There was a square to Mars. Venus was squared Uranus. And the reason I'm bringing this up is because these energies had a direct effect on this particular moon cycle. So the square to Mars, you may have felt impatience, anger, impulsiveness. There may have been a little bit of sexual frustration, a little sexual tension. The Venus square Uranus, there may have been, and I know this has been the case for a number of people in my circles, tests of relationships, sudden changes of heart. And so, if you think about this upcoming Pisces full moon, there may be some highlights giving us you all more information about that leading into the Libra full moon, which is all about harmony and relationships. So just something to keep in mind. Venus, again, we think about that as the planet of love. Venus with an opposition to Saturn can create loneliness because of delays and limitations. So there might have been, maybe even within relationships, some sort of limitation. There might be a delay in moving forward in some way. So just be aware of that. And then the Mars square also forces us into moving into the quote unquote right direction. And so I would say the right direction would be the most aligned direction for us. That sense of moving towards what is truly ours, that's truly aligned with our soul's purpose here. And then retrograde planets, holy smokes. I'm sure Madeleine's going to be talking about that. We've got Pluto, Neptune, Saturn, Uranus, and Jupiter currently in retrograde, Mercury going into retrograde the day before. Oh, and Mars also in retrograde. Thank you for reminding me. I didn't have that one on my list. And Mercury going into retrograde the day before the full moon, which is also very interesting because I think that's also going to help align us a little bit. And then Chiron, even though it's not really a planet, also is in retrograde. So there's a lot of retrograde action. And the retrogrades, for those of you who aren't familiar, it's essentially a review of the past. We're reassessing, we're reevaluating, we're in that place of it's all the rewords, reassess, review, reevaluate.
And integrating what we have learned so far. Because a lot of times when the planets are direct, we're going through a lot of stuff going forward, motion-wise, and then we need to stop and integrate what we've learned, what we've achieved. We need to reevaluate. So a lot of integration happens where you become innerly shifted with the outerly, as it were. But go ahead.
I love that. That's so true. It's also a reset. We get to push the reset button, like you were saying, learning from the past and integrating those lessons into the present.
And the soul. It becomes a part of your soul.
Yeah. Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. And then one small add-on to this going forward is and I can't remember if I'd mentioned this already or if Madeline and I were talking about this earlier with this Pisces full moon, it's the end of a cycle. It's the final sign of the zodiac. And so there's a lot of completion energy that people might be experiencing with this upcoming full moon. And so sometimes that can feel a little uncomfortable. Sometimes you're ready to just say, okay, I'm done. I'm letting that go. I'm moving on. And sometimes not. So kind of depending on how these planets are landing on your natal chart. And if you have your natal chart with you.
I'm really impressed, Amalia. You really picked up astrology since we've started doing this. You really are sort of like, I see it really integrating into you. You've integrated these concepts really great.
Thank you. Well, it's funny. For me, it's the logic and also the intuitive. I know the same with you, Madeline, like that's how you roll. But I think for me, I just have a slightly different perspective, which is, I think, so awesome because then you come with your,
great.
Yeah.
I personally think that you can't have a wrong interpretation of tarot or astrology. I think whatever interpretation comes through for you is the message that is there for you. That is what you are supposed to sort of receive from it. I just think it's interesting to have many angles of views on a lot of things.
Yeah.
So,
yeah,
and
absolutely.
astrology is so much fun to do that with because it's not an absolute. It is up for interpretation, all of this.
Oh, absolutely.
So, and then, I love that you look back and see it, how it plays out, because that really helps you understand how it works. Because when you really check back on how these transits played out in your life, you become much more connected to how this all kind of shifts in your life. You get it, you see.
Exactly. And, I'm going to just let people know too, if you are interested, I don't have it with me the second, too bad I don't, but I have created these moon magic sheets, and it basically it's set up for everyone where you can print it and write on it, or you can fill it in digitally. So if you are interested, if you sign up for my bi-monthly love letters, I have a link only for those people who subscribe to my love letters to have these sheets. And the beauty of them is you can follow the moon cycle. So you have an opportunity to write just a few words about the last new moon and the last full moon. And if you're watching our lives or paying attention to my love letters or any of Madeline's work, you'll have a sense of what these are about. And it gives you an opportunity to write a few words about that, and then write about what's happened since then. And then write your intention for this upcoming moon cycle. And what I find so incredibly helpful about this practice and this process is that you can literally see how the energies, these cosmic energies, these lunar energies are affecting our lives on a day-to-day basis that we may otherwise miss. And when you understand how they're affecting you and you understand what's coming up and have a general sense, you can navigate those sticky moments with a little bit more ease. And you have an awareness about what might be coming so that you can make different choices, more informed choices. We've got Mars in the mix this moon cycle. So there could be more acts. So we've got accidents again. This has been at play for a little while. A lot of like moving too quickly, and it's reminding us to slow down. So if we know this, we can be a little bit more cautious on the road, for instance, or not rush from one thing to another where we might trip and fall and like literally injure ourselves. So it's having that sense. Like I've been telling my guy, be careful on the road. And because there is, living in South Florida, for anyone who's familiar, people drive like crazy fast here, very all over the highway. And I've seen so many accidents. We tried to go to dinner on Friday night. There were 5 accidents on a stretch of about 3/4 of a mile, holding up traffic on both sides of the road. So it's just
Mars is in Gemini, so it's a very fast energy. It's an air energy. You might have noticed too, Mars rules the weather. So you can see the change in the weather when Mars went into Gemini. It got very windy all of a sudden, where I am anyway.
Oh, interesting.
In Vedic, it's in Taurus, but in Western, it's in. I look at both because I can see it sort of play out. But I certainly noticed the wind kicked up as soon as the Mars went into Gemini. We got windy, And I was worried because of fires, and fires kind of started up as soon as Mars went into this windy energy. The fires kicked up. Before it was in Taurus, it was an earth grounded energy. Whenever, because I'm in northern Idaho, so fire season and when is in the summer, but when I've been watching Mars and how it impacts the weather, and it literally in Mars and Taurus, there was no fires because it was earth and grounded. Yeah.
That's
So
fascinating.
it is fascinating. And as soon as Mars goes into Gemini, we get this, it's a mutable energy, it's an air energy. And we're looking at people's minds racing. I can tell you have been affected by Mars and Gemini. I'm trying to remember aren't you Scorpio? You're ruled by Mars. People that are ruled by Mars, their minds are going to be going like wild, like you are like whoa, like your energy is like chitty chatty today.
Well, and
Which is good because you're ruled by Mars and it's in Gemini.
So the funny thing is you're talking about Vedic or sidereal, so we don't want to confuse people too much, but we also have something called moon changes that occur. And I just went through a moon change. And in the sidereal system, I moved into Aquarius, and Aquarius is also air. So I've noticed I've had a lot of mental movement, things just clicking in really, really beautifully. And with that Aquarian energy, it's that outside the box, that really like big thinking and being able to see things in a different perspective too. So it's fascinating.
Well, and going back on what I said, it's not that astrology is an ancient science. You can get it wrong. There is right and wrong in astrology. It's a science. It's a sort of a fixed thing in a way, but you can have it's a fixed thing that there's room for various interpretations. But right now with this, which is sort of interesting because we're in a mutable energy right now with these Mars being in a mutable sign. We have Libra. Well, Libra is not in a mutable sign; it's in a cardinal sign, but it's rules Mercury. It rules Gemini. So we're really in a very rapid, mentally charged ideas thinking time. And a very important thing to, sorry, I'm sort of jumping in. Are we ready for this?
No, go. Yeah.
Awesome. So we and the other big impact that we're having right now, which is very important, is that we have Aries, Jupiter in Aries opposing Mercury in Libra. Mercury is at about 6 degrees Libra on this new moon, full moon in Pisces, or maybe up as far as 8. But and then don't forget, we're going to go retrograde soon with Mercury. So we've got Jupiter in retrograde. So all this for a long time here, and I don't know exactly how long, we got at least a couple months, because Jupiter is going to go direct, I think, in October, and so does Saturn. So we've got these retrograde oppositions of Jupiter and Mercury. And again, this is a very mental energy, Libra, air energy. Well, it's a cardinal sign, but there's air energy in the cardinal. So there's deep, reflective reevaluation, reassessing what we think, what we know, what's true, we had the nodes in Gemini a couple years, a year and a half ago, and everybody was arguing about facts and medical stuff and vaxes and code and all that stuff. There was a lot of arguing. So now with Mars in that, there's going to be a lot of mental, possibly conflicts as well, because that shadow aspect Mars, it plays out often as well. But the important thing is that Jupiter, because this full moon is ruled by Jupiter and Neptune, and we have Jupiter opposing Mercury. So what we think we know, what we is going to be is shaken up. We're changing our minds Mercury is a mutable energy, which means it changes, it shifts and changes. It's not solid. It's supposed to be mutable. We're supposed to change our minds. The mind energy is not supposed to be fixed. It's supposed to adapt. It's adaptive energy. So when we get these Jupiter opposing, we're adapting to our calling, but there's ideas, information, and it involves relationships. So it's a very good chance a lot of people, obviously we'll get into where it all falls in your chart, but there's a reevaluation of the purpose, what you really want to do, what's because we're in retrograde, so we're internalizing these energies. What is right? Jupiter, wherever it falls in your heart, in your chart, is ruling this full moon. So we're integrating, we're reevaluating a soulful redirect in alignment with the soul and what's true, what's real, and then that's going to align us when it comes into direct into the true path. But we got to figure figure that out right now. And we're all figuring it out. And when we've got that Mars for 6-7 months in Gemini, you're going to want a project. You're figuring out what to do with yourself and your mission and your destiny and how to really align it the right way. Collectively, we're all doing this. We're all sitting there going, okay, how do I start again? This Virgo new moon was like initiating things. And by the way, this full moon will reveal the work you've done from that other new moon. So whatever went on during that new moon, whatever crisis, whatever thing that did need to be ended, there was that Mars square, which usually indicates ending something, separating. There is a resolve around that issue coming into this full moon, revealing a subconscious state within you that needs to sort of be reckoned with, which means purged, because at the end of that cycle that you were talking about, because Pisces is the end of that cycle, it's that purifying. Virgo is the purifier, and Pisces is the purger. So it's like you go in, yeah, and then you start in Aries. Why we've got Jupiter in Aries right now, where we're launching our calling, our true purpose is a new cycle. It's a new beginning with that. So we're purging, we're coming to reckoning with our subconscious, with our lower density, fear-based ways of operating. And we're reevaluating that, reintegrating our calling to integrate with our truth. Like, I'm definitely going through that, no doubt about it, because my Jupiter happens to be in Aries at exactest degree. So I'm having a direct Mercury opposition, and I'm literally not going on my media all day, all weekend. I'm just staying off media and meditating and aligning with how it is I want to reinitiate my path forward in my work. Because it's happening in my 10th and 4th. Yeah, go ahead.
I love how you describe that, about Virgo as the purifier, Pisces is the purger, and Jupiter in Aries is launching you into your calling and purpose. So when you break it down like that, it's so simple. It's so clear. I mean, it may not feel super easy, but it might actually feel super great. Yeah,
this full moon could be better than you think, because you have learned a lesson in that Virgo moon. Higher consciousness you are, the more aware you are of your, how can we say it, attachment, because like Pisces is releasing that, is the opposite of Virgo. So Virgo is like that earth energy where I want to say shadow aspect. Virgo would be sort of critical, illness, health issues, you know, is a big part of that. So you're, and I certainly have waken up to, I went a little bit on a relapse on my, I quit sugar and I ate sugar and it gave me a headache instantly. So it's like, wow. Anyway, so that Virgo clarifying new moon, showing you what you karmic, because Virgo and Pisces is very karmic. This is extremely karmic. And where do you throw yourself under the bus? Not value yourself. And then what is the subconscious purpose for that? Is Pisces. Pisces is the higher quantum field, the unreal, the highest dimension, the most connected to source. So in this full moon, you become very connected to your conscious, the level of consciousness that you're operating in. And you become aware of the fear-based, Virgo-based reasons for throwing yourself into negative karma cycles, because this is clearing your karma. This is absolutely clearing a last bit of karma. And I can see that in almost everyone that I read for. We're really clearing a layer of karma, because that cycle goes up, right? So the 12 signs, so we start at Aries and it goes all the way up to Pisces is the 12th. So we're going it's like a spiral up, and we're constantly clearing karma. And then we get Aries again. And then we either create new karma, or we're creating less and less karma every time we do that cycle. We've learned to create less karma in the new cycle. So we're really clearing up a karmic wrap up, purging, coming into reckoning of some sort, of something, depending on what house it falls in, that then enables you to initiate with more confidence, more boldly, the Aries energy in your Jupiter. When that Jupiter goes direct, you feel it, you're in line with your action energy. You've got Mars, you've got your teeth into something that you're really interested in, a project that's filling your cup, that's Jupiterian in retrograde, which means it fills your soul. And now when that Jupiter goes direct, we're going forward with it. We've got motivation, we're energized, we're excited about it. We've got ideas. Mercury came in opposition to get you in alignment mentally. So, new beginnings after this. And then we've got that Libra new moon, like you were talking about. And we've got the eclipses coming up in that Taurus Scorpio thing, which is right on the nodes. So, you know, that's going to this readjustment with this opposition, which is not necessarily a balance going on. It's really to become more, shall we say, less one way and more the other. It's like we're finding, I guess you could say a balance, but really what you're finding is what you need more of in the opposite. So Mercury, Libra, you need maybe more working with other people or in relationships. So we'll get into that in the 12th house if this falls in your relationships axis, but you're becoming more balanced in your mentality and your ideas. There's some more harmony in your concepts. Hope that's clear.
Yeah, I think so. I wanted to touch on relationships for just a second for those who have a little bit of background about astrology, because something really jumped out when you talked about relationships when it comes to where your Jupiter falls. So what I noticed is for both myself and my guy, we both have Jupiter in Sagittarius, different degrees. You know, I'm at 29 and he's at 6, but still it's a similar flavor with that Jupiterian and I'm sorry, Sagittarian energy. So how would you, what word am I looking for here? Interpret the fact that you have two people that are in partnership, their Jupiter is in the same house. And, you know, I'm actually pretty close to galactic center even. So that's a big energy. So how would you interpret that for people in relationships when they might have their Jupiter in the same sign?
Well, Jupiter ruled full moon is your Pisces house. So let's just think what house that covers for you. What is your Pisces house? Well,
for him, it's his ascendant.
Oh, that's right. That's right. So yours Pisces, what's your ascendant?
Scorpio.
Oh, Pisces, what is that? Your 6th house or 8th? I get dyslexic with that.
Hold on. I'm finding it. It is the 8th.
8th. So you've got Scorpio. Sorry, go back. What's in your 8th house? I just dropped my thought space. What was in your 8th house?
8th house is
Pisces. Pisces. Okay. Yep. Full moon in Pisces. Wow. In your 8th house, it's very possible you become aware of some sort of financial opportunity or outside investment, or your spouse hits a lot of money, or you hit money, or there's some kind of a financial debt paid off, or a way to do that. That now with your Jupiter, because your Jupiter is ruled by Jupiter. So your Sagittarius house is.
So my Sag house is the
second house. Okay, finances. Yeah. There you go. You've got that activation 8th and 2nd house. So you're looking at your resources versus other people's resources. So something really good, because don't forget, Jupiter ruled full moons are awesome. You know, just by the fact that it's ruled by Jupiter is going to be nice. It's going to be good. Something good is going to happen. So we have, trying to think if Mars trines Mercury. Mars may even be trining Mercury right now as we speak, actually. I think it is. So we've got, with that full moon being ruled by Jupiter, and your Jupiter is in your 2nd house of financing, we see you stepping forward, possibly getting some kind of funding, external funding or loan, or a house refinance. Somehow some finances are opened up that then enable you to invest or become more grounded in your own resources. So in other words, some kind of an external financial, I want to say windfall, and it doesn't necessarily mean as millions of dollars, but it's a benefic opening of the finances to outside resources that then stabilizes and makes your ability to use your own resources better. As an example, and I know this is not your story, somebody gets money that they can buy a farm, and then they can farm the land, and then they make money out of farming the land. So some sort of external resource comes in that enables you to go forward on your Jupiterian mission, because your Jupiterian mission involves the 2nd house. So there's and it involves your own, and wherever Jupiter is where your luck and money is. So it's a good luck money one for you. I would say good luck and money for you.
Which I'm happy to hear. And I feel like that kind of is lining up with some things that are at play, when it comes to a home.
Yes.
Finding that right thing, and that could translate into a potential business opportunity and some other things. So that makes sense.
And you also want to take advantage of any opportunity. That's why it's so great to know your astrology and to know where your houses are being activated, because whatever risk you take in your 8th house is going to be benefic, because it's a Jupiter ruled situation.
Ooh,
so you're going, this is what we call risk taking, educated risk taking, what do we call it? Like knowledgeable risk taking. So you can take, that's what astrology helps you do, is to take risks, and they're safe, because the Jupiter in your 8th house, good luck, take a risk. 8th house is also about risk taking. It's death and rebirth. So this would be a transformative full moon. This will transform your financial situation, zero doubt about it.
I am looking forward to that.
In good luck, because you have your Jupiter in the lucky sign of Sagittarius. So that's now, good luck.
Here's another interesting tidbit to that. So then my guy has his, he's
ruled by his
ascendant.
What degree is his ascendant? What degree do you know? This is a 17 degree, by the way, everybody, 17 degrees Pisces, which is right on my son's ascendant. He's 17.
He's 27. So, if that's a pretty big orb.
Hey, no, that's coming up to his Saturn return.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
So this is pivotal for him. And plus he's Pisces ruled. And don't forget, Neptune right now is in the sign of Pisces. So Neptune is about, I think, at 26 degrees. And this full moon is at 17 degrees. So we're looking at about a 10-degree difference here, but it's still pretty impactful on his ascendant to have this, I'm sorry, what degree his ascendant? You said 20 something?
27.
Yeah. So, oh, wow. So he's going to have Pluto trining it too, I think. Wow. So this could be a financial windfall for him. This is very good. This is a good full moon for him.
The other aspect of this is that it's in his 10th house. Sag is his 10th house, his career, his natal chart.
Yeah. This, I think that the windfall comes through him. Or through your property. It's possible. I'd have to look at your full chart. But there's a, well, it's right on his ascendant. So something is going to come into fruition for him.
Yeah.
That could be what opens things up for the both of you. That puts you both on your joint mission, because you have co-mission. Most divine relationships are co-mission. That's the purpose of the union.
Yeah.
And Jupiter is your calling. So we really are becoming clear as to what that is.
It's so fascinating. And the reason I brought this up is because I was curious for myself and I wanted to get your interpretation, but I also feel like there are plenty of couples out there who are here for a bigger mission or purpose than they maybe realize. And to be able to see how, if they look at their chart and they look at their partner's chart and they see the degrees, and you don't even necessarily have to understand all of these different parts of it. But if you notice that you both have, you both have your Jupiter and Sag, immediately, like, wait a second, something is important there,
Yeah, because you have a big age difference in your relationship, but despite that, you've got this alignment in the synastry. And that's what's so amazing when I pull synastry charts. It's like, wow, you can see like anyone was born like 5 minutes difference. A lot of these conjunctions, especially on your cardinal points, would be off. It's just like, wow, they're so destined. There's so much destiny at play.
There is, which is so fascinating.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
I mean, it's magic. You realize how magical life really is. So yes, we are literally starting our missions with these divine relationships. Most people are people are lining their relationships with their joint missions. I see it everywhere. I'm seeing it a lot. And that's why you're seeing a lot of divine partnerships come into union with this Aries Libra access. You're getting, that's a strong relationship. Libra is relationships. So Aries is the self. And it's usually missions involve other people. You have two energies at play coming together. You got your feminine and your masculine energies coming together in that, bringing expansion forward for the world.
Yeah.
So
And I get the piece of this that I think is so cool is that if you are currently in a relationship and you feel there's something more to it that you can't quite put your finger on, but you just can sense it, absolutely reach out to Madeline or myself.
Sure.
Madeline looks at the astrology. I do too, from a slightly different perspective. And so both are super valuable for you to understand.
Yeah,
but
you can tell in your chart what your mission is. Absolutely. Yeah. I know what mine is. Although at the same time, you've got some sort of mental, the chart shows your mission and shows you, but then you've got your own mental sort of barriers about your own opinion or what you think. That's going to be not upset in a negative way, but reevaluated, re-seen, re-understood, shaken up, mutable, change. So we're limited in our minds, but these astrology transits are opening us up in ways that our mind was not able to fully see. And you know, that's what the full moon does, is it illuminates the higher conscious, the higher realm, the unconscious, the super conscious, the quantum field, where we get downloads, we get that clarity of that quantum, the higher reason, the higher calling, the higher direction. And then the Virgo comes in and you implement it. You put it into practical, applicable ways that help people, that serves. Like Einstein did he believes in the imagination being more important than the intelligence, because the imagination it's the 12th house, it's Pisces, connected to the quantum field of the unknown that makes you more known. You then receive a higher knowing as to what is happening. That makes sense. So and then you turn it into a reality. You bring it into reality through your actions. We are the connector of the quantum field and the reality.
So I can't remember what Einstein's quote was, but that related to imagination. But the essence of it is that, you know, there's another saying, if you can dream it, it's already there, you know, just do it, because it's been created. And imagination is the same way. You know, it's almost, I feel like imagination is almost this little divine seed that drops into us at some point. And everything, if you think about a seed, everything that is going to be, everything that is possible is in that little teeny tiny seed. So that little seed has all of the information to become whatever it is, a tree, whatever. So if you think about imagination the same way, you know, if you get quiet and still enough to allow your imagination to
that's that Virgo
run
energy.
Free.
That's right. That was the Virgo point, the hermit, the Virgo, exactly.
Yes.
Then you connect to the quantum field and you get a higher consciousness, higher wisdom, which you then now can step up to materialize a higher reality with, a better reality. So the imagination is the thing to tune into in this full moon. You're going to get that clarity, but it could be misty too, because that Neptune in there, but you're going to go into that misty unknown realm and pull out what you can turn into reality with. So that quantum field of accessing the quantum field is what we're all really sort of being called to do, because when you access that quantum field, you've given the higher guidance, the higher download that you then are sent to materialize. So we're joining those two worlds in this full moon, because we had that Virgo, which is Earth, beginning, quantum field, clearing because you see now, the thing about the quantum field and accessing the Piscean realm, the higher dimensions, is you've got to exit the mind. You can't be in mind space. You got to get out of mind. So what happens when we open up to the quantum field is we erase the down, or the old mind mentality, which has to be mutable, changed. So it's the limitation in our mind that the moon, the Pisces, wants us to break out of.
Well, I think the beauty of Mercury going into retrograde the day before this full moon is that it's going to encourage us to center ourselves, because we're the mental is not going to be at that super warp ahead speed. And it's, you know, Madeline always talks, you know, you talk about that loosening of the grip of things, finger by finger. This is particularly encouraging us to do the same thing.
Yep,
Go
purging.
be quiet. Pisces is intuitive. You mentioned that before, and our intuition is heightened. So if we can settle into that place, like you said, it might be a little bit hazy, but our heart will know. Our mind may be not sure, but our heart will know. So if you can go into your heart, trust the messages that you get and set an intention from there, I have a feeling you are likely going to naturally align yourself exactly where you need to.
Yeah.
The upcoming cycle.
And the Virgo in tarot is the Hermit card, and that is so important to do. And the 12th house in Pisces again is a introspective. It's the internal world. It's your soul. So this full moon is to access your soul, to become, the quantum field is really your soul, your higher self. So yes, hermiting, going introspective, especially with these retrograde planets. We've got Jupiter and Saturn there, which is your calling. When Jupiter and Saturn are retrograde together, it's like, whoa, you know, Saturn, whatever house Saturn follows anyone in their chart, you're stuck, you're trapped. You got yourself into a situation out of fear that you're going to be released from as soon as Saturn goes direct. Everybody can be happy to know that wherever Aquarius covers your chart, you'll be liberated. Thank you, Jesus. And Jupiter is going to tell you where you're going to, what's real, what is the real thing that Saturn you got into because of Saturn that wasn't real. And it's hard to explain, but you made a choice to get into something that got you stuck. We're learning the psychological reasons for that. We're learning that we're clearing that fear base that caused us to choose a situation that got us stuck. We're then going to alleviate that stuck situation. And then Jupiter is going to show us the true way to go that we motivated us, that got us stuck. So we're going to get out of a stuck situation and go the right way. That will not be stuck. That will be expansive.
I love it. So let's jump into Aries and let's see what we've got going on here.
All right, let's do that. Let me go in and check my chart. I'm going to not rush, but get through it pretty quick here.
Okay.
I've got bars, but not tons of energy other than that, or if we get more deep into it, I have to go inside and plug in. All right. So Aries, Taurus, second house, Gemini, third house. Wow. You've got Mars that you're going to be busy thinking, mind racing, busy mind. Virgo is in your sixth house. Pisces is your 12th house. Soul, talk about soul. Plus you've got Jupiter and you've got your relationship houses. Aries are going to reevaluate their relationships, get in line with their true relationships that is right for them. Mercury, communication, opening up. If you're not in a relationship, Aries, you're going to get in the right one finally. But also Libra has this problem. If I do Libra at the same time, Libra tend to connect. Libra tend to want to get in a relationship no matter what. Even if it's the slightest little bit of a connection, they'll jump into a relationship and then they get stuck. They get stuck in these. That's why they have Aquarius over their fifth house. They get stuck in the wrong relationships. They got to undo, and they're going to get into the right one or reevaluate the relationship that they're in and take it to the right direction. But mission involved. But Aries, this is the Jupiter, Mercury is in your first and seventh houses. So you're really, really, really evaluating relationships and your mission involved with them. And you're doing what's really right for you. You're not following your Libra, because Aries has Libra over their seventh house. So they might also get into relationships just kind of because it feels somewhat like they can get into relationships pretty quickly and get out of them pretty quickly.
Okay.
So in this, with retrograde Jupiter on your ascendant, you're going, no, I got to stop doing that. I got to get into the right relationship that I have a mission that I'm going to line up with my mission with. All right.
Got it.
And
nice.
This Pisces thingy moon is going to come in and show you, because Pisces is over your, Pisces is over your 12th house. So you're connecting with your soul direction, your true soul, what your soul is. And Jupiter retrograde, that's like double things, double on your true inner direction source rather than externalized. Okay.
Love it.
Taurus. So you guys are going through a lot of shifts and changes. You've got that double conjunction in your house there, in your first house. So I mean, moving, relationships changing. You've got the eclipses coming in your first and seventh houses in October, November. Libra in your sixth. So that puts Aries in your 12th retrograde. Again, similar message. This is going to be similar kind of for everybody, but with Aries, Jupiter in retrograde in your 12th house, really reevaluating where actually also the 12th house can be moving or traveling. So really ending and resolving, because it's at the end of this cycle for you in your 12th house. So you're reevaluating where you want to really initiate your whole life. You could move completely, change everything about your life, Taurans. Everything is going to change.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, I just don't even know where to begin with Taurus. There's so much going on for that. And Scorpio in your 7th house with these eclipses. I mean, basically, Taurus, you guys need to get readings done and check your astrology charts, because your lives are completely radically changing. So very radically.
All right, we'll be talking, Madeline.
Yep, yep. And Gemini, Mars in your 1st house during all of this. And then we've got Libra. Don't forget Libra, Mercury is Venus ruled. So we are really looking at relationships, financing relationships. In your 5th house, Libra, Mercury, relationship, communication about relationships from the past. So don't forget Mercury is in retrograde. People from the past coming back. Same with Aries, by the way. And then we've got Scorpio in your 6th house, but we want to look at Pisces, 10th house, Gemini, career, nice. Full moon in your career house. So you're looking at lining up, and Gemini have been going through this because they've got Taurus in their 12th house. They are really realigning with a truer, higher calling. Pisces over your 10th house means your soul is here to evolve into a more spiritual, because Gemini is across from Sagittarius. Sagittarius is Jupiter, is Pisces as well. So Gemini is information, knowledge. It's that duality between information and higher knowledge. Useful information is the Mercury information, the day-to-day information, the news, media, and then we get the higher consciousness information, the outer, the realms, the quantum field. So there's a sort of a partnering of these two forces going on, and Gemini stepping more into a quantum field of the purpose of their Gemini energies, kind of putting both of these energies together. So it's kind of like taking that Gemini information and taking it to the higher realms, the higher quantum field. Something around that, higher calling, no doubt about it, stepping into seeing the connection between the two, the purpose of your information, the higher reason for it, what you know. Geminis know a lot, they're very intelligent. But what is the spiritual reason for your intelligence? It's not just about information and knowledge. There's a bigger purpose for it. We don't just need knowledge for no reason. That's what Gemini are reevaluating. What is the purpose of the Gemini knowledge and information? So that we can apply the higher concept in our lives, or access understanding of the higher concepts. That makes sense.
So you're talking about just in general terms, but we're still talking about Taurus, correct?
No, sorry, I was on Gemini.
Okay, I didn't realize.
Sorry, guys. Sorry. I moved to Gemini. Did I jump really fast out of that?
Yeah,
sorry, guys.
I didn't realize that we had already moved to Gemini.
Oh, I did that.
Okay,
too, yeah.
so maybe
that's that Gemini energy. Oh my gosh, I'm just like, woo, because I've got Gemini, my 12th house, but I've got Mars activating my chart in many ways. So my mind is absolutely like right now.
Okay. So
sorry,
I don't know if I missed it. I don't know if I missed.
Okay, back to Taurus.
So I was taking notes, but I don't even have that many notes written. So I don't
You're
know how
right. I missed Pisces 11th house for Taurus. Sorry, you're right. You missed that part. Pisces 11th house. So friendships, internet, media, connecting to the world, tribe, connecting to your true tribe, that has your calling involved, because Pisces is going to be your mission, your true, if you're Pisces, whatever house Pisces in is where you're here to sort of step and be Jesus, as it were. I know it sounds really corny, but we're all here to elevate each other to a higher consciousness. So wherever you have Pisces in your chart is kind of where that focus is. So it's in your 11th house. So it's through the tribe, social media, that you maybe are called to raise consciousness and step into your guru mission through the tribe, through social media. You may end up, but also this is the full moon will bring something to fruition in your 11th house, which could be a project involving a tribe group or social media, or coming out more into social media. But that Pisces energy, it's that taking that Gemini information and that Pisces information and bringing the two worlds together, which is what the Gemini information is, to help us fully integrate the higher consciousness energy.
Okay, so
does that make sense?
I think so. I just want to make sure. So you said for the Taurus, Gemini, Mars is in Gemini in the first house. Is that correct? Did I have that?
For Taurus, Mars is in Gemini in the second house.
Okay, so then that was
financing, ideas around money. Mars are going to be working very hard on a project. The more you get involved in a project with Mars and Gemini, writing, learning, depending on what house it's in. I'm sorry. What did I say that for? Gemini, depending what house your other planets are in is what I'm trying to say. But Gemini in your second house, Mars being there for 6 and 7 months, you're going to be working hard over a financial project that earns money, income that is higher guided by your 11th house. So inspired by something happening in your 11th house, your tribes.
okay. Got it.
Great. So
hang on. I thought there was something else I wanted to ask you too about this. All right, it's gone for the moment. If I think of it, I will. It was a clarification point, I think, that I was going to ask.
Yeah, I jumped. I really did jump over that. I've got that racing energy with that Gemini. I can't believe it.
Okay, so now we're actually talking about Gemini.
Okay, so back to Gemini, you've got Mars in your first house. So it's going to be very intense with Mars in your first house in the sign of Gemini. It's like mind is going to be active. You really want to put your focus in on a project. That is, again, your soul related, something that really works, that's real, because you've got Jupiter reversing in your 11th house. Also, friends group. I got contacted by a good friend of mine that's Gemini, and you've got Mercury in retrograde. So you're going to be involved with 11th house, Aries, Libra, relationships, friends. You could get into a relationship, but also this, again, it involves your mission. So ideas that are more soulfully connected. Taurus is finances, relationships. It's the same message, very similar, but this is Gemini are going to be very, very motivated, very competitive, very possibly shadow aspect. You could get into fights. It's in the third house, so you might get into arguments, conflicts, and things can happen. Remember, wherever Mars is, there's a shadow aspect. So Gemini are really going to stand up and sort of fight for a higher mission involved in their life. They may come into conflict with people. They could start writing about something or start a business, because this is in their 10th house of career, Pisces. So they're really stepping up to a more higher calling.
So so this is in Pisces, I'm sorry, for Gemini.
Gemini, yep.
10th house and for Pisces?
Yep, they have Pisces 10th house. So career,
Okay.
soul, a higher calling. Balancing or not balancing, but finding the mix of the Gemini information, knowledge, information that inspires them. They might want to step forward and be more inspirational figures in the world for a higher spiritual message. Gemini is about information, knowledge.
And so their Virgo is in their fourth. So
Yeah,
this also has some movement potential for them. Moving,
reestablishing home, property, family, real estate.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So,
all right, got it.
Cancer, yay for Cancer, because you guys have Pisces in the 9th house, so you're probably traveling or learning or starting courses. I'm going to start learning. I'm going to start some further studies in my astrology. I'm Cancer rising, and I'm also traveling starting in October when all the planets start going direct. I've got travel plans. So a lot of Cancers have traveling plans in their agenda. They have the Aries, Jupiter in their 10th house, Libra in their 4th, moving, real estate focus, property, career, access. Again, similar, something happening in your 4th house, influencing your career, ideas, and with Pisces, but also travel. So for instance, you could figure out a way to teach and travel, because also 9th house is teaching, or to take a course and travel. And with the 10th house, Aries retrograde, some kind of a project from the past. And actually that is happening for me. I do have a project from the past opening up at the same time, kind of revising, redoing it. That is more of a career, because I'm going to be doing more workshops. And that is something that really enables me to travel, because I can do workshops online, which is really fun. And yeah. So, but also 4th house would indicate ideas, information, knowledge, planning, and maybe partnering with somebody around my fourth house, which is actually true. I sold half of my property, and now I have sort of a new relationship with a neighbor who I love. It's great. And we may be talking a lot and planning some things on the property together. So
Yay! Congrats.
And really reevaluating my cancers are really reevaluating about because their career, how they speak in their career, like I'm kind of coming up with some new ideas around my YouTube channel, and that's my career. And Aries Libra access is like that how to communicate, how to involve other relationships. And I'm actually starting to work my projects with another woman. We're gonna do them together, or some of them. So you're really reevaluating your career. Bottom line, make it really simple, and possibly going to school to advance yourself in when you become really connected. That's what I'm doing. I'm really hermiting right now, really connecting to how it is I want to advance my career, and what is it that I need to learn, or what kind of accreditations or what kind of certifications do I need to take that new forward path. And by the way, when Aries goes direct, there's a confidence, because one, you see what that is, you have clarity, and you know what you need to learn. I mean, this is going to be great when these planets go direct. You're going to feel grounded. You're going to feel in alignment. You're going to feel like you're actually going somewhere. Your energy with Mars there in Gemini for you guys in the 12th house, soul connected project. You could be in the country. You could go be very isolated and write and work on a project with someone, or plan, or travel 12th house and send and educate and give out communication. So wow. Really great. This is like, we're really taking a little moment in that Pisces energy before we go into the Aries energy. So clarifying what it is, how you're going to step forward when those planets go direct.
Nice. Love it, Madeline. All right,
Leo, woohoo, you have Venus in your chart right now. Virgo, your second house, finances, work. So this new moon would have brought potential for work and money, income, new beginnings. And then we've got Pisces in your 8th house. Again, that opening up to a income, externalized income from some source. That is great because Pisces is lucky, ruled by Jupiter in your 8th house. Finances, some luck, you either pay off a debt, you get financing for something, you marry somebody, you get into a relationship, and they have money and they can support you for a while you perfect your Virgo new thing in your 2nd house, your new beginning in a financial project. Mars in your 11th house. Wow. Going into retrograde, possible working or finding information through the internet, going to school or getting information, or becoming a journalist. Gemini is all information. Or you could step into sales. Gemini is sales, by the way, too. So maybe in the 11th house, you get online, you know what you want to sell or give off information. Or a new tribe, you meet a new tribe, you start communicating with new tribes. Something opens up over that 11th house with Mars there for 7 months, and Aries in your 7th house, Aquarius in your 7th house. Aries in your 9th house, travel opens up possibly. New moon, full moon in your 8th house. I have, my son is Leo. You could get funding for a creative project. Leo's very creative energy. Funding again for my hand is going yes. I have this thing where I have a hot hand and it tells me when I'm in alignment with what I'm saying.
Oh wow, that's cool.
Yeah. So for Leo, you've got 8th house, higher consciousness, awareness. Also, the 8th house can be a challenging full moon. There can be fears. Anyone that has any Pisces in their 8th house, some deep issues, some deep fears come up to be purged, that you get over, that maybe you're deeply afraid of finances, you have controlling issue with money. And then with Pisces, this full moon, you let go, you see what that fear is, you become more devoted, more believing in God, more trusting in faith. That happens too with 8th house stuff. You let go of your control of fear around finances, and then you become kind of lucky in it because that fear block is gone.
Where's the 6th house for Leo?
6th house Capricorn, you have Pluto there, and you've got Saturn in your 5th house retrograding. So you've got Pluto in your 6th house, health issues coming up, deep stuff that you're doing wrong that's not good for you, that comes from a past life, possible habits from past life you got to evolve out of that are not healthy.
The
I say
reason I
top five
asked,
because Pluto is always involving a deeper soul source issue.
yeah, the reason I
And
ask is I've had a couple of weird health things come
oh
up,
yeah, health stuff.
and they feel very much connected to something old. And
Interesting.
yeah, and there are definitely areas where, as a mom of four and having to take care of four kids for so long, I felt like, you'd have to ask them for sure, but I feel like I was really good at it, taking care
I
of
bet
them.
you were. Yeah, Leos are good parents. Yeah.
But now when it comes to myself, kind of living, doing my own thing, now I'm having to take care of me. And I'm like, I'm fine. I don't really.
Interesting.
So completely, I feel like I've neglected my own self and my own care. And so now it's showing up in these very odd things.
Yeah,
And
your sixth house is activated. Health stuff comes up for me every time, especially even if something's opposing it and opposing at Cancer. So whenever you have anything in Cancer, you're probably going to get health triggered. But also your moon, if we put your moon on your ascendant, your moon will indicate a lot of health stuff. If you put your health, it's good to know. Like because I've got my sixth house on I forget, is it my moon Pisces? Why? I have health stuff, and I've had health active issues come up. A headache came back, and I started eating sugar again. So the other thing about Pisces is it's the addiction. The shadow aspect of Pisces is addiction, escapism. So your addictions might come flaring up. You may have relapse in your addiction, especially if you've got that sixth house activation. And it's almost like flares up just for you to see. No, you cannot just think like you can go back and eat lots of ice cream again. Doesn't work. I have the best ice cream store in my neighborhood here in the world. And I know about ice cream because I grew up in Italy. So I know how good ice cream is. I know. I fight it all the time and I wait for that. I can't relax till it's closed. No, I'm kidding. It's not that bad. But the other day I said, you know what? I'm going to go get one of those ice creams. Why not? And it's like literally the next day I had a headache. It was like dairy and sugar is not good for me.
Oh no.
So anyway, so I saw the addiction and I had an activation in my Uranus in my fourth house. It makes me really nervous. And so I thought, I'll just go get an ice cream and that calm my nerves down. But it's like, no, go meditate, go sit on the rock by the lake instead.
So I guess here's where I wouldn't say I get tripped up, but I wonder about this, is that, we're here to live this human experience and to enjoy life. And so we're not meant to deprive ourselves of things. So it's interesting how when it comes to things like ice cream or maybe a glass of wine, or maybe you decide you want to splurge and have that, that pasta with the rich sauce or whatever, why, I guess my whole thing, I get tripped up in my head about, well then, okay, yes, if you have a physical response to it and your body isn't enjoying that, then obviously no. But for other people, it's just like they feel like they're a bad person if they do certain things, or they feel like it could be a slippery slope if they do certain things. But it's finding that balance, that place where you can enjoy life and enjoy those earthly pleasures and also still be in balance with the bigger picture.
Yes. Well, the truth of the matter is the sixth house is the habit. It's your day-to-day. It's what you do on a daily basis that determines your health and your success. So it's about work. It's about day-to-day. So what it tells you is that, okay, so yeah, you go have an ice cream. It's not going to hurt you, but you're not eating enough protein, or you're not, there's something on a day-to-day basis you're not doing right. And Virgo wants you to see that, because when you're on your mission and you're going forward and you're in alignment, you got to be healthy and you got to be doing the right things. You got to live more of a pure life. Virgo is pure. So you're going to fragment your power in this planet if you don't do day-to-day good things for yourself, because you got to do good to you. You got to take care of yourself. Virgo is about taking care of the self. So it's going to reveal. So yeah, maybe I can eat ice cream if I really up on my protein or something,
Right. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense, Madeline. I get that. Thank you for that.
Sure.
All right. So let's talk about Virgo.
Funnily enough, let's talk about Virgo. Virgo had this new moon on your ascendant. Tough time for Virgos. That was a challenging Virgo moon. I knew a lot of Virgos who went through a lot of hard time on that. This is going to be better for you. You will understand. You will get a deeper understanding, soul connecting, higher consciousness reveal of the fear-based reckoning of your fear-based results of karma that you created and that came up in the last new moon, that you now become consciously educated around. You know better now. You've learned, and you now have a higher consciousness understanding around that. And you've evolved. The astrology is evolving us into higher beings. And so now you become more enlightened around that rough time. And you're going to shift, Virgo, into your quantum trust, the quantum field, unless you go into more escapism, in which case you run away from the lesson and you don't learn it and you escape and you just find escapism. But if you are ready to take the lesson forward and expand, you then see a more connected consciousness from that lesson. And you have Aries in your 8th house and Libra in your 2nd. So financial relationships, work, possibly funding, possible. I know it's possible you get in, you do, when Jupiter goes direct, you either get out of debt, you find a way out of debt, you understand your calling more. So you step into something, you can get outside resources, better luck with that. What else can we like? A Gemini in your 10th house. Wow, busy. Virgos are going to be busy. You're going to have, we've got the sun in your house right now. So you guys are busy. This Gemini Mars, people are going to be busy. This is a busy period.
What house is this, Madeline?
Virgo have Pisces in the 7th. So the relationship missions coming in, higher consciousness relationships to your better relationship. Or you escape into a relationship. But mostly you become higher consciousness in your relationship dealings, how you manage your relationships, because the Virgo new moon would have probably played out whatever was toxic in your field it would have played out in relationships, because you have the Pisces Virgo axis in your relationship houses. So now there's a clearing, there's a reckoning of your ways in relationships. You're becoming more higher consciousness about your relationships. You've learned something big in this new moon, and you now become more confident in yourself because you've learned this lesson that kind of gets you in problems. It causes problems for you. You've cleared that up now, and you're free to kind of expand and go into a higher consciousness motive for your relationships. It's clearing karmic relationships, if anything. It's karmic relationship energy for sure for Virgo.
Yeah, feels like that. I
agree. And it's not an easy one for Virgo, but you're going to feel happier afterwards. You're going to become more purified.
Right. Yeah.
In your motives in relationships. So now we ready for Libra?
Let's go to Libra.
Libra, you've got Mercury going retrograde in your 1st house, communication, relationships from the past, Jupiter in your 7th house in retrograde, relationships from the past. A lot of Libra I know are ending relationships and initiating the right relationship, the true one, the real one. They had no fun lately because they've Saturn in their 5th house of relationships. So they've been in the wrong relationships or ending the wrong relationships or reevaluating or gotten stuck in a superficial relationship, which they're now clearing and moving on from. But there's this Aries in their 7th house, the right things, they're lining up. Pisces, full moon in your 6th house, work or health. So they're aligning their mission because their relationship house, they're going to be in the right relationship, which then aligns them in the right mission in their 6th house, which then opens up the stuck situation in their 5th house, opening up for more fun, more good times. And Mercury, the writer, Libras are often writers. They're the mind, they're the genius minds of the earth right now, the world. So projects coming in, communications, writing. Mars is in your 9th house, possible travel for Libra too, writing and travel. But relationship adjustments, big time for Libras. Oh my, you will change your relationships, or you will know the right relationship to be in, clearing that your karma though is in your 6th and 12th houses. Yeah. So you're really clearing your motives for the relationship, which tends to be not wanting to be alone. But Libra have a real problem they step into relationships often without it being the right one. They step in just as like, oh, you seem nice, let's get in a relationship,
that That,
for like, without even knowing them.
I was going to say that typically would not work out super well.
Usually doesn't. That's why they get into a lot of relationships that don't work out. But then they discover, with Jupiter in retrograde in your 7th house, the soul relationship, they integrate what the right one is.
Yeah.
That comes with fun, that brings fun. The real relationship brings fun in your life. The wrong relationship blocks the fun in your life. You know, Libra, if you're in the right relationship, are you having fun? Is it just effortlessly a good time? If not, you're going to change that relationship. You have to have fun in your relationships, Libra. Libra are very dependent on something in the relationship giving them life. Now, I'm not saying that's bad or codependent. It probably sounds a little codependent, but Libra need the relationship. It's designed that you get in a relationship and you fulfilled through a relationship. You're completed. You're already complete, but the relationship brings you an element in your life that you are very serious around.
Yeah.
So
it's
it
a
helps.
co-creative partnership in a way. Yeah. Yeah.
And creative writing involved, because the 5th house is creativity. I think Libras are going to have a much better time. They're going to get the right relationships. They're going to be in aligned with their purpose, which involves writing. Most Libra.
Nice. All right, let's talk about Scorpio, because I think they're the Pisces moon in their 5th.
Yeah, Pisces full moon. Okay, well, 5th house of relationships. So your true higher consciousness, real soul relationship, or you're escaping and getting involved in the wrong relationship as an escape addiction, sexual addiction, relationship type houses, superficial, or you become awakened to your motive for relationships and you now pull out and you become more devotional. Scorpio tends to be a death and rebirth life, where you live part of your life in shadow aspect and then you live you have ascension in Scorpio. So you're going to have an ascended experience if you're in your consciousness, if you're in higher consciousness energy, which means you seeking a higher truth that is outside of your understanding. And yes, that is beyond your capacity. You want to expand your understanding. So with Pisces in your 5th house, it's possible creative writing projects. Mars is in your 8th house, funding to do that with. But higher consciousness, a truer, more devoted relationship coming in. Taurus, you're going to have eclipses in your house. So you're ending relationships. There's going to be Scorpio, you guys have these eclipses. You've got the nodes there in your 7th and 1st houses. Scorpio's life's radically changing, like Taurus, relationships ending, then becoming more connected, understanding a spiritual lesson around what got you in, why you're choosing sexually based relationships or escapist based situations. And you're going to become more grounded in a connected, shall we say, higher reason for being, a spiritual reason. This is the thing I keep missing the word on, spiritual reason for it, not material reason. We're talking about the spiritual versus the material with Pisces, Virgo. So we're stepping into everyone, wherever Pisces is, you're stepping into the spiritual calling of that house. So your spiritual mate, you've learned your lesson, Scorpio. You've had so much going on in your relationship access.
Do you feel like because of the 11th house being a part of the story, do you feel like, based on what you just said, that's going to relate to tribes, to friends, groups?
Yeah,
what about the internet connection? Like,
yeah, well, you probably ended a tribes group, a friends group, a group of friends you made, or a tribe group that you tried to be perfect for. You threw yourself under the bus to hold on to. You thought they were important. You're probably going to let that go. And then you've got your Pisces in your 5th house. You're probably making new friendships, new relationships. And then you're going to, and new friends group involving Virgo mission in your 11th house. So transformational between your 5th and 11th. So higher, you're going to get less thrown under the bus. You're going to come into your real tribe, not throwing yourself under the bus, and being of more service with that service motive, rather than security, rather than friends you're trying to be perfect for. You're now involved in a tribe group, higher consciousness, that you then become more a service to. You motivate more of service. You have awakening to your higher calling, higher consciousness, and you align with a group a new beginning in your 11th house, a new group, new tribe, that you can really have a higher, that are right, that you can be of true service for and bring higher consciousness to. Does that make sense?
It does. I love what you said. It's service versus security.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So really, I think that sums that up so nicely.
Yeah. And spiritual, don't forget, we have a spiritual motivation rather than the material, because the material is security, and the ethereal, we don't trust. So in the Pisces, you purge that fear-based non-trust. And you become,
We're all purging. All right. So Sag, let's see what you got going on.
Yeah. Sagittarius, we have Pisces. You're ruled by Jupiter. So Pisces rules your 4th house and your 1st house. So, well, we're moving, new ideas, I know Sagittarians that are moving. A lot of them will be moving. You have clarity to know where to move. What is your higher consciousness environment, life, inhabitation or living situation or family. You could get into a family. You could, but again, we're lining up with our spiritual. I know a Sagittarius who is finally moving somewhere, and I do think it's more their spiritual location. I do think it's where they want to retire. It's Pisces. It's like going into the country, going away, going somewhere, moving into a more country, spiritually harmonic place for you that your soul wants more. And you've got Aries in your 5th house, so very possible relationships from the past that are your true fun relationships, fun time. When Jupiter goes direct, you could have more fun. You could align with the right friends, relationships. Virgo is in your 10th house, new beginnings in a career. Now Aries is your 5th house, so relationships. And Gemini in your 7th, a lot, partnering in a relationship. Gemini there with that Mars, they're taking a lot of action to co-create in a relationship, but it's a good chance you're going to move. It's a good chance you get into a relationship if you're single, and you then it's kind of the same message all around, honestly. 11th house, Libra, Jupiter, 5th and 11th relationship tribe coming together. 7th house, working hard on a mission, moving. Pisces, where is your Virgo? In your 10th house of career. I mean, it's kind of a cardinal cross for Sagittarius.
So what's really striking me, Madeline, with all
have a cardinal
the signs that you've been talking about is that it is a lot of the same theme, and it's all of the big aspects of our lives: relationships, health, career.
Yes. Sagittarius, we're looking at 4th and 10th, 7th and 1st. That's your cardinal points. That's all the there's another word for it, and it's blanking on my head. But anyway, these are very pivotal points in your chart. When you have cardinal activations, Gemini and Sagittarius are having their cardinal activations. When you do that, you really are seeing a big life
pivot,
like a seasonal change. Like, you know, when we go from season, it's like all of a sudden we're warm. Like right now, it's kind of warm. And then as soon as that September 21st comes in, boom, it's chilly. It's like boom, it's like cardinal changes. The season changes, a big shift. Sagittarians, you're going to have a big cardinal change in your life. I'm Saggy Sun, so I don't mind that. I like changes. Fixed signs don't like it. Yeah. All right, Capricorn. I've got a red bar, but we're hanging in there. Capricorn. We've got Aries in your 4th. Again, it's similar to Cancer. 7th, 4th, and 10th house, shifting, moving. Pisces is in your 3rd house, so possibly starting realizing something about your communications. Gemini in your 6th. Wow. Busy time, Capricorn. Higher consciousness or escaping, because Pisces shadow aspect would be escaping and busyness and avoiding dealing with something. Virgo in your 9th house. Possibly beliefs shifting, but not being able to escape, and now realizing you need to become more spiritually, learning about spiritualism, communicating about spiritualism, or understanding it, but also starting possibly a business, entrepreneurial venture that is more higher consciousness as a result of you now having a new belief system or having a new motive. Even just motivating from a new shifting your motivation opens up possible travel too, because you've got Virgo in your 9th house. So higher consciousness, not trying to be so perfect, and kind of having a shift into a more spiritual, shall we say, understanding of, I mean, talk about Virgo, Pisces axis, 3rd and 9th. I mean, Jupiter is the 9th house. Mercury is the 3rd house. So that's really active for Capricorns, really waking up to a new belief, and then it becoming more of a maybe knowledge. Maybe you really do go into an education and start to open up your education to learn more. And but also you could start a business that's higher consciousness. Like you could start an eco business that sells, maybe you decide to sell guitar picks that are bamboo made. So you're going to, all of this Pisces energy is more spiritual, more higher consciousness, more trusting in the universe, that if you do something that helps the world and makes the world better, you will be successful. Trust that. If you expand consciousness, expand Jupiter is make the world better for everybody else, you will be successful. So they come up with ideas, Capricorn, of how to do that. Ideas is the 3rd house too.
I love that. That feels really good for Capricorns, who tend to be kind of like the work hard, but also they're like, they can be the wah people. They don't feel like they can do certain, like they feel like they have to work so hard all the time, and that doesn't always work out for them. And then it's like, you feel like, oh, what did I do all that for? And
yeah, right. Because really 30%, 80%, 30% of your effort creates, only 30% of your effort actually takes you anywhere. So 70% of what you do action wise to get yourself forward doesn't do anything. Like is just like null. So this is the energy of finding out what is that 30%? And that's what Capricorn are going to see. So because Capricorns can also be too material and not ethereal. So they're really making that shift to more spiritual, that 30%. When you go into your Pisces higher consciousness and you go to the realm of the quantum field, you become aware of what that 30% action is that will take you somewhere. So that's kind of what will happen for Capricorn.
Nice.
And that Taurus, yeah. So don't forget, Taurus over your 5th house, you're going to have a big breakthrough in a creative project or relationship. Okay, Aquarius, you are our leaders into the new earth. Pisces, your 2nd house. Finances, Virgo, your 8th house. New beginnings, again, similar message that we had for Leo. Some kind of new beginning, clearing karma around your financial houses. So it's a karmic reckoning. It's basically using debt for a higher calling, using outside resources to bring you to your higher mission, your higher purpose, and a way that you can earn money now. You have more faith in some sort of project going forward. 5th house, creative project, that, or children or pregnancy, that is your mission, that is your spiritual reckoning. You want it. It's spiritual. It's your soul. And you become very connected to how to earn money in a way that is more soul aligned and spiritual. And it's good. It's good. Money, an opportunity could come in, a shift in your how you make money. Full moon revealing a new way of earning money. Then maybe you do have to study or learn, or how to, because Virgo, maybe you have to get a student loan or some kind of a loan enabling you to study or learn in order, or you have to have a business loan to start this business. 3rd house, Gemini is businesses. A lot of people might be starting new creative businesses, new creative ventures, and you get money to do that with. And then it creates a very higher consciousness way of earning money. That's good for the earth. Maybe you were earning money and it was in a way that you don't like because it creates pollution, and you're very conscious. You become very conscious. You're Aquarius. That means you're a new earther, and you now want to earn money in a way that doesn't pollute. Okay. Or you don't like that way of working. Some people are doing that. They're quitting jobs that are not good for the earth.
Yeah.
That's good. And you're trusting that God will support you in that, because God wants us to save the earth, and he will. The spirits, the soul, the universe will support you to help fix this planet. No doubt about it. Aquarians are here to do that. They're taking us into the new earth. Yeah,
that they are. They are. Those Uranus great awakener people.
Yep. And plus you've got your planet in the sign of Taurus, your ruling planet, plus you've got Saturn on your ascendant. So you've been stuck. You've been held back. You've been blocked. A lot of your forward progress has really been blocked. But now that's going to open up, this full moon coming in, showing you how to earn your money in a way that's consciously more in alignment with your higher calling.
Yay, I love it.
Yep. Woohoo, we're out. We're on Pisces, and I'm Still got power on my computer.
Okay,
Woohoo!
let's see if we can get it in.
Pisces, wow, we Maui, you guys. Full moon, my sun, ascendant on his direct. Beautiful, fantastic opportunities coming in. Pisces, you've struggled a long time. You've been clearing. Pisces really are, if you're here as Pisces, you really are reckoning your souls, some deep soul fear that you're going to overcome. And then we get the Ashwini thing in Vedic, where you come out of that gate and you're ready to really take yourself on a new cycle. You're going to reignite this because you've got Aries in your second house. You're fresh, you're ready. You've got a relationship axis going on with that Virgo thing, new beginnings and projects with your relationship. You've gotten over yourself. Pisces are not so self-centered because Pisces are so sensitive. They pick everybody's energies up. They sense it all. And it tends to make them slightly self-involved and self-absorbed. And so, it's like not negative. You kind of are supposed to be if you come as Pisces. You're here to understand a deeper self, and you're going to kind of get that. You're going to see it, and you're going to see that your oversensitivity holds you, and you're just going to get over it. I'm just not going to think about that. That's exactly what you have to do, Pisces. Just don't think about what everybody else is going through. Pisces can tell a lot of negative stories. They get a little bit dark in their headspace. And it's that 12th house stuff. It's that purging, becoming conscious of the darkness so that you can then release it and get it out of you and start again in that new cycle. Aries, you're purifying that. So Pisces are really purifying well, they've got Virgo in their 7th house, so they hide a little bit behind relationships. So you're going to come out of that. You're going to come out and say, all right, I'm coming forward. I'm going to start. I'm Aries, bold, new initiations in my finances, in work, in career, involving relationships. And then let's look at Gemini in their 4th house, again, moving or building a project. But most Pisces are creatives. So at home, writing, preparing a project, Libra in your 8th house, writing, applying grants, maybe applying for grants or ideas, or a relationship, because Libra is relationships with somebody who will finance or enable to support you financially for a while you take, or you get outside funding. But also Libra could be fears involved, attachments to relationships. So Pisces have a bit of an attachment fear issue in relationships. I see a beautiful bird flying right in front of me. Interesting.
Oh,
I know.
nice.
It's just like, so it's almost like liberating out of that, like being free from that fear-based attachment to finances, because that's going to activate your 8th house. So fears around money coming in, but you're going to get liberated because that Jupiter Mercury dynamic in your 8th and 2nd is going to liberate you financially, new beginnings in a way that's clear. You probably pay off a debt. So now Sagittarius rules your 10th house of career. So it's activating your career house, this full moon, and your 1st house. Yeah, and money, and again, relationships, because we have Virgo in your 7th house. So it's kind of like everybody's relationships and mission are all coming together, and we're aligning with, when you're in your mission, you're not in your own individual idea of what your mission is. You now are going to have to sort of bounce off of another person what that mission is, and that really helps because Libra energy comes in so that you are outside of your head. You are with another person. It's not just you, because as individuals we're very limited when we're in our mind mental space. So it's almost like bouncing off of other people. That's exactly what I'm doing. I'm bouncing my workshop. We're coming up with ideas. And that other person that I'm doing workshops with, they're very much altering the destiny of the workshop in an alternative way than I may have thought. But I like that because my mind is limited. Yeah. So I'm open to it. You want to be open-minded in these energies. You want to be very open-minded with Gemini. You want to expand our minds, open up, learn things, study, get new accreditations, get certified. Find more knowledge that deepens your higher understanding. It's for 6 months, we're all elevating our consciousness so that we can then guide our actions in alignment with a new consciousness. And with the North nodes involved, we're we're going to be forced. That's what happens in these eclipses. They tilt your destiny. So we're lining up consciously to become aware of what that new choice is going to be, that new eclipse. It's sort of like prepares you in advance for the change. And you're going to be ready for it. You're going to have the tools and the knowledge and the information of who you are going to be in this change and how you're going to step forward as a person that was divinely created on this planet to help move us into the age of Aquarius, to help move humanity forward to a higher place, a higher reality, better reality. That's what we're here to do. That's what astrology wants us to be, is that connector of the cosmos and the reality. We're that in-between part. We're the materializers. So Pisces' full moon wants us to reach for a higher reality, a better one for all of us. And your part in that for all of us. How can you be a part of that growth in the world? It's great. It's a great time to be alive.
Wow. I feel like I know.
I rest my case. Yeah.
You were standing up there on the mount giving your sermon.
Whoa, that's my Jupiter in my 10th house with Mercury opposing it, reevaluating and kind of also stepping into your mission, not just about work. Like it's when you live your Jupiter, because this is a Jupiter ruled full moon, you're not just doing work for money and creating security. There's a bigger life. It makes you feel alive. You feel like you're connected in the cosmos. You're part of the new growth. And that's what's fabulous. You feel alive. So that's the way this moon is going to shift us. We're not so earthly based, going more spiritually based and feeling much more aligned with the guidance that full moon will bring you, a higher guidance.
Yeah.
So
yeah. So I'm impressed. Madeline stuck with us. Her battery lasted. We had powerful Wi-Fi connection. The message was meant to come through loud and clear today. And I hope that everyone enjoyed our conversation. Please leave a comment. Let us know what your thoughts are. We'll be talking more. Oh, we lost Madeline. All right. So we made it pretty far. So we'll be talking more about these upcoming moon cycles and what is to come for the new moon after this full moon. It'll be really, really interesting. It'll be interesting to see. And one other thing, I want to just leave you with this, the place of contemplation for you, for this moon cycle, for this Pisces full moon. Fill in the sentence, I believe blank. So what do you believe? What are your beliefs? Where are you stepping forward? Where are you moving to? And here's Madeline back. We'll let her say a quick goodbye. Let's see if she's here.
Are you there?
Yes, I think I spoke too soon. I was just wrapping up and signing off, so I'll let you have an opportunity to say your goodbyes, Madeline.
Thanks. I'm doing a retreat up here end of September. So if anybody would like to be if anyone's in the Pac West area, North Pacific West, do join us. We have a retreat coming in. It's very astrologically, spiritually centered to help everyone progress. So yes, and if you would like a reading with me, my email madelineparker111@gmail.com and Instagram handle Madeline Parker Insta. Thanks, Amalia,
Awesome.
for me. And
absolutely. And Madeline's information is in the notes below. So if you want to reach out to her or me, you have all of our contact information there. And if you're interested in her retreat, do reach out so you can get some more of the scoop on that. And for now, we will say thank you again. And we'll sign off, and we'll see you back here in 2 weeks talking about
the Libra
new moon. All right, everybody. Bye.
All right, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thanks, Amalia. Lots of love. Have a great week.
You too. Bye, everyone.